Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So one of the primary principles that we follow around here is rotating our animals on pasture. Moving those animals around so that we're distributing their manure, we're letting them disturb the ground in specific areas so that we can get better forages growing back, and just basically overall improve the soil and improve the health of the farm. So today we need to move that group of feeders that we've got back in the back. So we're going to go through just some basic principles on how we do that. We'll move feed, water, fence, the whole deal. We'll see if we can get them to walk across. Those guys hadn't moved a lot in their time here. They moved a couple times, but they've not moved a lot, so they're not real used to the process. We'll see how that goes. We may have to do a little bit of coaxing. But hang out with us for a little while. Let's move some pigs and check out some fencing stuff, and see if we can get these animals on a new spot of ground. So stick around for a little bit. So the feeders have been in this area here for a while now, and it's time to move. Still a lot of grass, but there's some spots that they have certainly worn down pretty good, particularly over here in the brush and in this little bit of wood cover that they've got. As you can see, they're just laying down there. I think you can see it on camera. They're just laying down there under the trees right now, trying to stay cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them up the hill one notch. When we're dealing with multiple groups of pigs like what we have here, I got the feeder group here, I've got a set of gilts right here, the boars are in the back corner down there, the gilts and sows with all their new babies are across the ridge over there, and then the mamas, big mama and little mama, are up there over top of that little hill. When you're moving these pigs, you've got to think about not only where are you going now, but where are you going next, and then how is that going to affect everybody else. So the thing we're thinking about with this crowd here right now is we need to move them off of the paddock. They need to be on a new spot. Plus, in about 4 weeks or so, some of these guys are going to start going to processing. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to move them to a spot so that the next move can put them in a good loading area. Now the way we've done that, again, we've started with, we're building off of this paddock that they're in now. Started right here on this corner, and we have basically single line, single strand electric right here, just a small poly wire. We have gone around the outside of the new area, the paddock where we're moving to, about halfway with our first reel. I'll get through some old saplings here. So they've come around this side over here, excuse me, and then the first half of their paddock that we pulled off of that single reel that came off of that corner right down there is going to end right up here in this general area, kind of below the cedar tree. Taking a second reel, we've started it there. It's gone down to the upper edge of the paddock that they're in now. We'll let down that wire that is the upper side of their current paddock, let them come across, and then we'll pull our new reel on out to the far corner. But what we're having to think about is, where do we go next? Because we're getting close to loading time. So next move is going to be up to here so that we can get up on the flat part of the field, which is, for orientation, the houses right over there. The mamas are right in there. So we want to get up on this field so we can get up onto the next field. Lots of good options up there for loading out and getting pigs loaded up to take to processing. So that's kind of the plan. We've spared you the terribly boring details of pounding post and pulling wire. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open them up. We'll move feed and water, and we'll see how they move. These guys have only moved a couple times, so it's going to be interesting to see how easily they go from the paddock they're in to where they're coming to. So David's helping me today, so we'll see if we can get this crowd moved along. Ain't it pretty out here? Man, look at that sky. Green grass, blue sky. Absolutely gorgeous. And I know I've mentioned this on a couple of videos in the past. But we've transitioned. We were buying some of those, and that's what this next paddock's built out of. We were buying some of those fancy high dollar reels and geared reels from Gallagher, and they work great. Love them. But if you're trying to get started on the cheap, and you're trying to be economical about getting your pig business started, these little extension cord reels that you get at Walmart or Lowe's or off of Amazon or whatever work absolutely great. They're fantastic for this. Yeah, they're going to break down in the sun, but for $8 a piece, you can replace them every couple of years. And also, this wire right here, this is a SpeedRite. I think it's SpeedRite Extreme, and I'll leave a link in the description down below for that. I love this wire. I'm gonna transition all of it over to this. I've still got some of this single, this real thin Gallagher poly wire, but I love this stuff. It's nice and thick, it's highly visible, carries a spark, carries a spark really, really well. So we're eventually going to transition over to all of these, but I'll leave a link in the description down below for the cord reel and for this SpeedRite Extreme. Love this stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, so I've pulled this back line up right here. That's the SpeedRite, and it's the one that keeps going, containing the rest of the paddock. Pulled it up to where we've got the new paddock drawn down. So now there is an open gate essentially between the old paddock and the new paddock. So another thing, I still see lots of comments about this on different pig groups and that kind of thing, and the skepticism at containing pigs with electric in general, but even more so single strand electric. Group of 15 pigs. They have been here on this farm since December the 20th. Yeah, December the 20th. Started them out in a training pen, and we've shown some videos on our training pen. I'll leave a link in the description down below to a training pen video and how we set that up. Put these guys in a training pen for a few, they learned in a couple days, but they were in there for a couple weeks or so. And knock on wood, I may be jinxing myself. They may all get out tonight. We have never had a single breakout with this group of pigs right here at all. They respect the wire, they stay behind the wire, they don't get close to it, and if they do, and they get a spark, they get a shock, they back off instantly. So you can contain pigs with single strand electric. The trick being, they just need to be trained and have plenty of exposure to a good hot shock when they're in that training mode. So, all right, so we're opened up, ready to move. This is one of our guys here. This is a AI pig off of Big Mama and Little Mama. Look at him. He's just, gorgeous specimen of a pig. He's at about 5 months old, probably 215 pounds. Got another month or so to go, month and a half, so we're going to try to get him to a little over 3, but he's doing really, really well. The rest of these guys, well, there are a couple more in here. They're Big Mama and Little Mama pigs. The rest of these guys came from Worsham Springs Farms. Our buddy Tyler Leonard over in Abingdon, Virginia, bought some pigs off of him. He's got some good looking stock. This one here is one of Tyler's, growing out really nice, comparable in size to ours, so we're tickled with how it's doing. Some of these black and whites down here, they're doing really nice too, coming on strong. A couple of these little red and white guys, they were some of the smallest ones of the group, but they're catching up. So everybody here is looking really good. Free choice feed on these folks. All they want, as much as they want. We're at about a 14% protein right now. So everybody's doing really nice. So let's see if we can coax them up and get them to go up to their new spot. We got them stirred up here. They're interested in what we're doing, so maybe we can get everybody to move. All right, guys. That's one of ours, born here. Y'all ready to go for a walk? Let's see what we can do. We're about to have a winter here. Two across. Well, I put the camera down because I thought this was going to take, you know, forever. But is there just the one, David? We've got everybody across, but just this one single pig who's laying down here in the mud, of course. We've got everybody across, and this took like 10 minutes. I answered a phone call while we were doing this. Excuse me. But we've got everybody up here and across now except for this one dude. Came over, they were checking out this little wooded area right here, which is just it's an old drainage ditch between that upper pasture up there and this one down here. Got a lot of sweet gums, some cedars and that kind of stuff growing up in it. So everybody stopped in here, kind of check out what was happening in that. And now they're up here in the grass, running around, just having a big time. So looks like they found the feeder. So that'll get everybody interested in what's happening. But should be a good spot. Lots of grass here. Looks really nice. This will last them for a while, but again, we're gonna have to move here in, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks up on top of the hill because we've got some guys that are gonna be going to processing. So, but looks like, oh, here, David, you got him. Is that one limping? Yeah, they'll do that too. They'll lay down on that leg and go to sleep. What's his malfunction? I hear him growling. I got one that's kind of ended up getting lost out of the mix, and now he's a little ticked off because he can't find his buddies. If he'll stay up here, yeah, just going up that way there, buddy. There you go. That's it, ain't it? Oh, come on, dude. Oh, he's going around. He's going around. He's cool. Been asked a couple times about how we join these reels up. I make a loop just in the center of the wire, and then we'll just kind of wrap it around these little slip-on T-post insulators a couple of times and just lock them in place, one loop over the other loop. I mean, they stay fine. There's good connection between the two different wires here, so it conducts the electricity without any problem, and just I mean, it works out fine. Don't like that wire, do you, buddy? Don't want nothing to do with that. Getting ready to move the water, little tip for you. If you're moving pigs from one paddock to the other, wait until the pigs are gone, till they've moved out of the old paddock into the new, before you empty your water, whether it's one of these, whether it's a barrel style water with a pig nipple, a Brower style water, whatever the case may be. Wait until you have moved your pigs from the old paddock to the new. Reason being, if those pigs were down here right now and we open this up, let the water run out, and we create all this nice, cool, muddy space for the piggies, they're going to come over and hang out, and you're not going to move them with a stick of dynamite. So wait till you get your pigs in your new spot before you dump your water out. It's going to make a mud hole, and that's like a kid in a candy store to a pig. They're going to go right for that mud. Okay, so we got everybody moved over. They're all huddling in the brush, which is what we expect them to do. Got the drinker moved, filling it up. Nice fresh clean water, so we're in good shape on that. Good space for these pigs. Feeder, we're down to the cone, so we'll need to fill it up probably tomorrow, but it's fine for today. So we're just gonna leave them in here for a few days, see how they do with it, and then we'll move them back up the top of the hill here in a couple of weeks and get them ready to go to processing. So easy move. It's a pig stampede. All right, so we got everybody moved. I've left them alone for probably about an hour and a half, and wanted to just come back down and check, see how everybody's settling in. They're doing exactly what I expected them to do, which is hang out here in this this little brushy woody area kind of between the two pastures. But yeah, everybody's here. Looks like they're just getting kind of acquainted to their new digs, their new spot. Back over here we'd had that's where we had the sows, Big Mama and Little Mama, late in fall, around Christmas time I guess it was. So this has not had typically as much rest as we would like for it to have, but as we're getting more and more groups of pigs, we're having to move folks a little bit faster than I want. So we've got, it's a little bit of a balancing act in terms of numbers of pigs, groups of pigs, and the amount of space that we've got to put them on. And then again, this is another area up here where the sows were at with that last litter that they had, which some of these guys are actually part of. Up here it had a hole so big you could bury a Volkswagen in it, so I brought the box blade out, just graded a little dirt down and filled it back in. So we got that kind of covered up. But here they are, already building some wallas. They found a cool spot. Must be a little damp, a little moist right there in that spot, so they're making a little wall there. Rooting around. Pigs have been on this before, so typically we don't see quite as much rooting on a spot as you do an area where there's never been pigs. First time across, they're going to root it up pretty good. Second, third, fourth, subsequent times, usually not so much. So, but man, these guys are looking good. We've got them moved, and everybody's doing their piggy thing. So before we wrap up, over the past, gosh, I guess 6 or 9 months, maybe a little bit longer, I've gotten a lot of emails and messages from folks saying that, you know, what we're doing here, and the videos that we're putting out really inspires you to, you know, maybe try chickens or try pigs or try something different on your farm, or maybe even just start a farm altogether. And that's very humbling, and I really appreciate all those kind words and messages. And you know, that's what I want to do. I want to encourage you. If you're pig rubbing on me, if you're interested in farming, raising animals, raising your own food, it's a great lifestyle. I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's been a real pleasure for us. We never dreamed that we would be doing, you know, what we're doing now. We counted the other day, I think there's 70 pigs on this farm. Never would have dreamed we'd got 70 pigs. That's a lot of pork. But you know, if you're interested in doing this, just jump in there and give it a whirl. Don't let conventional wisdom, don't worry about what your friends are going to say, don't worry about what your mama's going to say. Get you some pigs, get you some chickens, and just go for it. It's a great lifestyle. You know where your food's coming from, and you can give these animals a much better life than they would have had in a confinement feeding type operation. But anyway, that's rambling enough. I'm gonna post a link to a couple other videos over here, some other stuff we got going on. We got a couple more pigs to farrow, got 3 more pigs to farrow, so that's coming up. We got chickens out on pasture, gonna be doing some processing here before long. All kinds of things happening around here. So if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, follow along with us. We appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Piggies.